The special live stream for version 4.3 is come and gone, but at the same time, I still feel there's some stuff to talk about with version 4.3 because this is going to be the first filler arc of, you know, Fontaine, and I'm pretty stoked on it because there are a couple things that are really good about it. Some things I'm worried about as always, but of course, I wanted to take the time to talk to y'all, give my opinions on it, and then later on we could talk about it, you know, in the comments. So today, we're going to be going over the condensed version of version 4.3 and talking about what we like, what we dislike, and stuff that could be improved. But of course, I just want to say thank you so much for all the support that you all have been giving me lately. I've been very happy to say that we got our partnership and we're working towards the final step of partnership by getting those 4,000 watch hours. So if you'd like to help, make sure you watch this video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and of course, don't forget to check out Gamer Subs, gluten-free, keto-friendly energy that is fantastic, good for the soul. They got all these like wonderful, look at all these blowhole blast packets, so good, so good, one of my favorite flavors. But make sure you use code TASH for 10% off if you do. But anyways, without any further delay, let's go ahead and get into the meat and potatoes of this video. As you can see, we have Traveler.gg up with the Genshin Impact 4.3 special live stream overview. Big shout out to Traveler.gg. Use them from time to time, and I like how they compile the you know, everything that goes on. So this is going to be very in depth. Let's go ahead and first start out with the event wishes. Phase 1 looks to be really good. For those who don't know, Navia is the new character that is coming in version 4.3, and Navia has become a quick crowd favorite because of the fact that she's been centered in the story for a majority of it, to be honest. Like, we've seen her lose her best friends, we've seen her talk about her, you know, dead dad, and she's a very like relatable character, and I have liked her with every single update that she's been a part of. So very happy to see that Navia is actually getting some star treatment, and being next to Ayaka is a really big compliment because in my opinion, Ayaka is one of those characters that a lot of Genshin players really like. Ayaka was introduced to every Genshin player in version 2.0, but Ayaka had actually been around even before that in the beta test. So Ayaka being here is a really good one. I think that these are both really good banners and very good value in general before the 4 stars come out. We don't know if 4 stars are coming out with them, so there's that. We do know that Chevreuse is not coming out with Navia, but is coming out in part 2. Now this is the set of banners that I feel obligated to say, Hoyoverse, can you please stop being mean to Yoimiya? Like, it seems like they pair Yoimiya up with someone that's just gonna completely blow her out of the water. Now, for those who don't know, Yoimiya is actually a really good unit in my opinion. Very good as a bow user, and not like the essential bow user where you have to charge attack. Like, she is a auto attack bow user, and she's a lot of fun. But Raiden Shogun is just one of those like characters in Genshin that you just have to have on your account. She's just that dang good. And then of course we have Chevreuse, the new pyro pole arm user for the 4 star, and she looks like she's going to be really cool. The thing I like about her and what I think is going to happen now with these new 4 star units is that they're going to be based off of reactions, and we'll get to that here in just a second when we talk about her kit. But of course with Navia, we know that she's a 5-star Geo Claymore user. Her elemental skill, while using her elemental skill, Navia opens her Gunbrella and fires multiple Rosula shard shots that can pass through opponents, dealing Geo damage upon a successful strike for a period of time after using her elemental skill. Navia's normal, charged, and plunging attacks will deal increased damage and become infused with the power of Geo, which cannot be overridden, which is great because now you can pair her up with a Bennett and be perfectly fine. When a character in the party obtains a elemental shard created by the crystallization reaction, Navia will gain crystal shrapnel charges, and Navia will consume these charges after unleashing an elemental skill. Her elemental skill damage increases with the number of charges that she accumulates, which is pretty big. It gives a reason to run a crystallization team, so I'm pretty stoked on that. I think it's different. I think that honestly having more of these units focus on elemental reactions, especially somewhat like the type Geo needs something. It needs something, and I think that this is a good option. Not saying it's going to be game breaking, not saying it's going to be meta, but it's different. It's something that gives you a reason to get those elemental shards more often outside of just getting a shield. Elemental Burst. Navia's Elemental Burst calls forth the Razula Dorata Salute, which unleashes a massive bombardment on opponents in front of her, periodically dealing geo-elemental damage, and Navia will accumulate crystal shrapnel charges at charge intervals if she strikes enemies with the Razula Dorata Salute. Now, I think that's... her burst looks cool. And it's just like calls upon a bunch of cannons. And I've been making jokes about it, but it's really just the most America thing you can do. Like, it's just shoot cannons. But it's really cool. I mean, obviously she's not based on America, we know that, but it's just really funny. Now let's get into Chevreuse. Now the 4-star Pyro Polearm user, elemental skills, Chevreuse uses her musket to fire at opponents during her elemental skill. For a period of time after unleashing her elemental skill, Chevreuse will continuously restore HP to the active character on field. So she's not going to entirely work well with a Furina, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, she still works as a single target HP restorer, so that's really cool. I don't know if she's going to scale solely on HP yet, but we'll find that out. Chevreuse also obtains a overcharged ball when a nearby party member triggers the overloaded reaction. Holding Chevreuse's elemental skill will consume the special ammo to unleash an even more powerful pyro attack that covers a target AoE. This attack will also grant an attack buff to all pyro and electro characters in the party. So we were talking about before, and I talked about this a little bit, where we would go with a single or a mono element team. Now we're getting into the reaction element teams. I think that's actually really cool. Now we have better options. Would I run, you know, Chevreuse with, you know, Hydro or Cryo? Probably not, but in a Electro Pyro team for Overload, it works fantastic. And I think that also gives Overload a little bit of extra something. Elemental Burst. During her Elemental Burst, Chevreuse fires an explosive grenade with her musket, which will split into secondary explosive shells upon impact. Very simple, and it works. Now, if Chevreuse is paired with all Pyro and Electro characters, if your party contains at least one character of either type, then triggering the overloaded reaction will cause an opponent's Pyro and Electro resistance to decrease, which means more damage for your overload teams, and I think that's awesome. I think that's a great way to introduce the character. Is she going to be game breaking? Probably not, but I think that we're going to go into a meta now where it's based on the reactions of the teams instead of solely focusing on like just straight out power. Now, during the stream, we got introduced finally to Chiori, who is basically this art director of the thing. She's the owner of the boutique in Fontaine, and she's from Inazuma. She's going to appear in the flagship event Roses and Musket. So this is her first appearance. We're probably going to see her as a playable character later on in the version 4.0s. Probably, my guess, 4.6, maybe. But it's fun to actually see her get announced right there. New weapon, the Verdict, looks really cool. Very cool great axe to go with your, you know, Navia. So awesome. Now let's start getting into the events. We have the Ultimate Overlord's Mega Magic Sword weapon that's coming out in the Roses and Muskets event, which is a free greatsword. I don't know how good it's gonna be. We could probably pull it up, but I already pulled up the new artifacts that were announced. So I'd rather not pull that up as well. So the first artifact set, as you see, is the Nighttime Whispers of the Echoing Woods, which is 2 pieces attack plus 18%, and the 4-piece, after using an elemental skill, gain a 20% geo bonus damage for 10 seconds. While under the shield generated by the crystallization reaction, the above effect will be increased by 150%, and this additionally will increase, or this additional increase disappears 1 second after the shield is lost. Now, this is strictly a Navia set, and this is the one thing I am actually pretty bummed about. Not because I don't want Navia to be good and I don't want Geo to be good. I want Geo to be fantastic, but I also think that making a set strictly for a single character, or at least that's how it is over here. Sorry, I'm playing with my Gamer Subs waifu coin. But making a set just solely for one character, or at least that's how it feels, seems very niche, and I don't think it's gonna get enough love towards it. Maybe there's another Geo character that goes with this artifact. I don't know, but I haven't seen one, and I could be wrong. Let me know in the comments down below if there's something I missed from this. But I don't think there's another character that really benefits from getting that much Geo damage through the crystallization reaction. But again, it's it could work with any Geo character, to be honest, because you could get that attack buff. But I feel that this was more so made for Navia, because the 2-piece effect is for attack, and you want to really increase Navia's attack. Ito's a DPS, but his biggest thing is, you know, defense. You know, and I think Albedo might be the only other one that could really benefit from this because he scales off of attack. But again, I could be wrong. Let me know. Comments down below. Now, let's go ahead and talk about this Song of the Days Past. This is a doozy. Healing bonus plus 15%. 4-piece. When the equipping character heals a party member, the yearning effect will be created for 6 seconds, which records the total amount of healing provided, including overflow healing, which means that any healing after your max HP. When the duration expires, the yearning effect will be transformed into the Waves of Days Past effect. When your active party member hits an opponent with a normal attack, charge attack, plunging attack, elemental skill, or elemental burst, the damage dealt will be increased by 8% by the total healing amount recorded by the yearning effect. The Wave of Days Past effect is removed after it is taken effect 5 times for the 10 seconds. A single instance of yearning effect can record up to 15,000 healing, and only a single instance can exist at once. But it can record the healing from multiple equipping characters. Equipping characters on standby can still trigger the effect. Is this good? I mean, it's probably going off of Chevreuse, but I don't know. Like, with as much substance that's in here, I still don't feel like it. It just feels like mumbo jumbo to me, and I could be wrong. This could be the best set for healing characters, but I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it. I don't know if it's good or not. The artifacts, I'm just very about. New story quest with Navia. Pretty standard with every new 5-star, so that's good. Let's go ahead and get into the Roses and Muskets event. We have gameplay for all sorts of different stuff. Now, the first one is actually kind of funny because we're going into like CSGO type stuff or snipe, like Hitman. We're going to be sniping enemies. Gunplay, fantastic. I love being able to snipe. Second event is a combat event, pretty standard. You know, fight the amount of enemies. If you go into this filter effect or lens effect mode, it helps boost your damage, or as it explains here, the second activity is called trick shots, tricky lights. In this activity, travelers will use the studio special lighting effects to film a fight scene, take advantage of the buzz brought on by the special lighting effects, and defeat the endless stream of opponents to obtain a higher score. So basically, it's going to be one of those ones where you get 4,000 score per thing. You'll be fine. Next one, and this one I'm actually kind of excited for because it is co-op. Corner Muka Ball, which is basically hungry hippos. Now, as you can see, I'm a hungry hippo. I'm always hungry. I love food. I gotta, you know, work out the gains a little bit by getting some food. I gotta feed my boys. I gotta feed. This is cringe. Don't mind that. But this is gonna be hopefully a fun event. Now, this is me being overly excited to play hungry hippos with people, but it could be fun. It could be fun. And then of course we got shoot scene, or the gameplay 4, which is the waiting water of the, or is that it? I don't know. I can't tell. It's like shoot scenes by choosing narration. I don't know what this part of the event is called, but you get to make your own movie. I think it's cool. But it's meh. I said cool, and then I went and then meh. What of it? But it's just there. It's another event. Get free Primo Gems. Arataki Blazing Armor Beetle Battle Boot Camp is a continuation from the original Arataki Beetle Battle Thingamadoodle Bob. And they added a few things to it. You can actually reflect stuff back, or I think you can reflect stuff back as it was, but you could actually block now too. You actually have a block. So cool, I guess. Dance of the Resolute Will, which is another event. You actually get trial characters for this, which is cool. But one of the characters has to be on both teams, and then you have 6 characters to work with it. I think that's a little different from normal, solely because of the fact that you have to build 2 teams that work with that character. So like, you know, you can run Navia with other Geoth. Excuse me. Late at night or late in the morning. But you could run her with, you know, different characters. Like you could put a Bennett on one end to work with her to give that attack boost, or other characters in general. Like you could run her. Well, I don't think Kazuo really, like, no Animo really works with Geo at this point, but you know, there's stuff you can do, right? And then you just battle the enemies per normal, pretty standard. Big event coming back, Lost Riches. Get yourself a free Sealy. This mini Sealy Brilliance can swim underwater, so make sure to pick that one up. That's cool. So that's pretty standard from there. And then of course, one of the bigger events coming back, Marvelous Merchandise. We get to see Levin again, and Levin's gonna give us free stuff for just giving him our spare materials. Take my chicken. Give me free primos. TCG's getting an update. We got a bunch of new cards. As you guys know, I play TCG, but not like religiously. We're getting Snegnora, Azdaha, Layla, Yelan, Linny, Lynette, Goro, and Alhaitham, followed by the other cards. Thunder Manifestation, Aramite, Scorching, Lore Master, and of course Dvalin as well, which is cool. Great, more TCG. Asia Invitational's happening as well. But one of the big things that came out of this update thing was the optimizations, and these are some really good optimizations. Artifact interface to where you could actually find out what character is best with what set by, you know, a poll of all the different people out there. They'll be like, okay, run a 4-piece Veridescent, or run a 4-piece Endless Ever Fate, or run 4-piece Marachuse Hunter, and you can see the percentage of players that actually run that, and that's great. I think that's a fantastic way. They did this with leveling up skills. I think that's perfect. It brings more unity, and it helps newer players who don't want to go and research this stuff, or maybe even watch a guy like me explain artifact sets and stuff. It gives them a better way to go about it, so I think that's cool. Another way that they're making it at least easy is that you could actually lock artifacts by certain types, like your main stat, your minor stats, so you could actually automatically lock them as they come through. So if you get let's say you're running a Ganyu like me, and you get that double crit attack percentage, ER percent goblet, and you're just like for cryo damage bonus, and you're like, I want to lock that, but I might forget about it because I'm doing all my runs, automatically locks, and that's great. I love that. That's a great addition. Now of course they also have a way of basically like sorting out your artifacts from here. Like you could pick the Gladiator's Finale, as you see right here, and you can also pick, like, is it locked? Is it already leveled? Is it equipped to something? And you could sort it out through there, and I think that's a wonderful addition. It doesn't change that much for me, but I think that's great. Now, we also have this, which helps with leveling up your stuff, and I think it works well because, like, you don't have to worry about, like, just putting in 6 and then putting in 6 and then putting in 6. No, you could level up to the next tier without having to worry about constantly having to click it. So that's cool too. Makes it that much easier to deal with. And it also works for leveling up your character and leveling up your weapons. Not only that, but what's really cool about this too is there's less pop-ups. So once you level, you'll see a little bar go over and it says level 80 or ascended and stuff like that, and you don't see like a pop-up window that you have to click out of. It now just shows it like that, and I think that's something that should have been done from the get-go. So I'm not gonna give too much credit to MiHoYo or HoYoverse to that. This should have been done a long time ago. Why did it take 3 years to do this? But I'm happy that it's here now, so good job. Optimized repeated challenges. So you know how people like me, we are like, I have to sprint from all the way in the back to get to the middle to have less time used on, you know, because I'm trying to speed run these and see how fast I can go. Well, now that's changed. Now you can actually, when you go through it the first time and you replay it, it spawns you just a couple feet away from the actual challenge point and makes it so you're not having to run across the freaking, you know, Atlantic Ocean just to get to that. So again, don't know why this wasn't done in the beginning, but cool, we have it now finally. Quest flow, this was a big one. For new players, you don't have to go through the prior quests to get to the chasm now, which is dope. Now you can just go straight into the chasm. There's a waypoint that unlocks automatically and you can just go to it. So awesome, that's great. I've already gone through it, so it doesn't help me. And then one thing that I'm extremely happy about is the one-click expeditions. This is where like you click and claim all, and then you can dispatch again, and it dispatches all of them again. Again, why was this not here at the beginning? Because this is great. And I like that. Now that we have something that Honkai doesn't have, which is cool. And it works for food too, which is great. It works for, you know, your weapon enhancement stuff too. Fantastic. One of the last things is we're getting a new Serenity Pod location, which is overdue. And we're getting Fontaine, and we can actually swim underwater in our place. I think that's dope. That's really, really cool. It should have happened a long time ago, again, but still dope. Love it. Genshin concert announced on the 22nd of December. So if you want to watch the online concert, you can. I usually do because, you know, the music's so good. These artists work so hard to make wonderful music for this game. I think that they deserve it. And then of course, we're also getting the new background music set, which is pretty standard. You know, we always get that almost every update, but yeah, so there's a lot that was covered in 4.3, but it also felt like there wasn't. I felt like there was times where it was going by really fast, but also not giving me a lot of information. So I liked it. I thought it was cool, but there's definitely some stuff I was very confused about. Getting those new artifacts or artifact sets that are strictly for the characters that are releasing kind of made it a bummer. I thought it was cool at first, but then when I actually read the effects, I was like, all right then, this is kind of whatever. But then again, it could still work out for other characters as well, as we were talking about with the Nighttime Whispers in the Echoing Woods. I don't know about Song of Past Days. I'm gonna have to really test that and figure that out. Optimizations that we should have had a long time ago are finally coming, which is great. And characters that are coming back are being overshadowed by, but characters that are coming back are being overshadowed by other characters that are coming back as well, aka Yoimiya is getting the shaft again. So, but I digress. This was a good update, and I can't wait to see what else comes our way after 4.3. So, yeah, tell me what you guys think in the comments down below. And y'all, that's going to be it for today's video. If you like the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below and hit that notification bell to be notified of when the next Genshin Impact video comes out. Y'all, I'm so incredibly blessed to have all you on this journey with me. So I just said thank you, but thank you again. I love y'all to death. And of course, as always, we'll see you in the next video. Please take care and be safe.